Beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make sense. Hi everyone. During the last Meet Me in the Field conversation with my husband Jaco, I mentioned that I discovered that I have been judgmental in my assessment with regards to who has a spiritual story to share and who not. In my closed-minded space, I did not think of inviting Pierre for a chat. But thanks for the new Freddy attitude, we have my decades-long friend Pierre in the green chair today. Pierre and I became friends about 29 years ago when we were called up to the National Defence Force to defend our country against a terrorism invasion. I may try to be more open-minded, but it will probably take a bit longer to rid myself of my sarcasm. Anyway, one of the most amazing gifts from conscription for me is that I made lifelong friends. Pierre is one of those friends. Without preempting anything, let's dive into the wonderful world of spiritual journeys with Pierre. This podcast is supported by The First Layer, the 12-step workbook on working through the 12 steps in any addiction in 21 sessions. There's also a 24-day coaching and counseling program available based on The First Layer. For some information in this regard, go to www.freddy.org.za and click through from the notices at the right of the homepage. Meet Me in the Field also now enjoys the support of African Travel Kid Adventures and Tours, the travel company that will help you to make the unknown your known. Check them out at africantravelkid.com. Enjoy this special time I spent with this special person. Good morning, Pierre. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be here.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much for coming through. And he brought breakfast.
Doesn't often happen, so be thankful.
So I got double treated. I didn't have to go anywhere, and I got breakfast. And I'm getting to chat to Pierre. So thank you very much.
Good.
Much appreciated. So you are well, but you are busy as hell.
Haven't been busier.
It's Sunday morning, and you are on your way to the theatre after this. Am I correct?
Yes. And I'm involved in a production at the moment. It's on at the Milnerton Playhouse. And it's part of the journey I'm on at the moment. And it's learning of how the theatre works and everything that goes into a production. So I'm shadowing one of the major or the gurus in the industry.
Fabulous.
And just seeing how she does things and learn from the experience. So today we're plotting the lights for the show, which is new to me. I'm excited about it. It will take up most of my day.
Yeah, I can imagine, because for every scene, the lighting must be different.
Absolutely,
and does that stuff get computerized at some stage?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, nowadays it does. In the olden days, you had to
actually
know what the cues are.
Shine that light and, oh my God.
Yeah, nowadays, most of the stuff is...
So you will now decide which light shines where, and is that then programmed? And
into the desk, yes.
Okay.
And it's literally press of the button.
Okay.
Wow,
that's exciting to learn all that shit, huh? Fabulous. Pierre, so you and I have known each other since the year of our Lord,
1989.
89, when we met as members of the South African Defence Force.
That's correct. Scary idea. Scary thought, yeah.
Somebody entrusted the safety of the country to people like us.
No, stranger things have happened. Yeah.
Have they? I sometimes wonder. Okay, so we met in the National Defence Force, which is weird because you were at school in Brakpan.
Oh, no, all over the show. I mean, that's one of the things that was a pain at the time, and and when you grow older, you actually take those lessons and apply them to your life. Not always sure what the lessons were, but
you definitely have the scars to show for them.
Lots. No, I was born in the Far East Rand Hospital, 1966, and so the first part of my life spent it in Springs. So first part,
that is Far East Rand.
Yeah, that is like. So as I always tell people, Springs is a place you come from.
You definitely don't
go back. So I grew up, well, the first part of my life until I was about 10 years was in Springs. It was a quick stint in Kimberley. My father was one of the first COBOL programmers in the country.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He actually qualified as a COBOL programmer, I think, in 1964, 65.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did he actually study that?
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Same as me. I mean, I'm doing a similar thing, but I never studied it. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was needed in various places. One of the places was Kimberley, so we stayed there for a year, came back to Springs. And then, I think it was the age of 10.
Yeah.
We moved to the Vaal Triangle. And I was at school there until I was 15.
Okay. So early high school.
Early high school, the last part of primary, first part of high school.
Okay.
And then we moved back to the East Rand and ended up in Alberton.
Alberton, okay.
That's right, and stayed in 2 houses there. But I counted by the time I left home, I lived in 21 houses.
Oh my God.
It's insane. It was,
Good grief.
Yeah, so there's a lot of trauma. I think my mother went through a lot of trauma in that process, but she was the one that always had to move. And the children we just went where the parents went.
And you're one of two.
Yeah.
You've got an older brother.
Older brother, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so matriculated in Alberton and then Rand Afrikaans University.
We actually, our paths could have crossed.
Yes.
But we studied such vast different... You were possibly permanently in labs while I was permanently in the cafeteria.
Yeah. Yeah, you were 1 year behind me, I think.
Yeah,
you were in Furentu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I matriculated in 84.
Yeah, because that was the year the West Dean bus accident was when you were matric.
No, I was in first year.
We were first year.
So we went first year.
Okay, then we were in first year together, absolutely.
Yeah, varsity 85. Yeah, 85. And you studied chemistry?
Chemistry, biochemistry.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, bring all this in connection with some form of religion, spirituality. Where did you stand in that regard?
Okay, I grew up...
Or lie or sit?
Yeah.
Or on your knees?
I sat in church quite a bit. Good.
Why did I think your father was a minister?
He was. After I left school, he actually went into ministry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he always wanted, that was his dream. That's what he wanted to do. Don't pull a face.
I did not. It was a frown.
Religion was basically forced down my throat, but it was extreme. I always said my father was a Pentecostal extremist because it was just God and church and hell and damnation for the first I think 18 years of my life.
Oh my God.
There was what I took out of that and the positive, and I'm still taking that with me, was music.
Okay. So he was nearly a Pentecostal masochist.
Well, yes, I would say. No, it was everybody else was wrong, and they would all go to hell. And we would go to hell as well if we didn't go to church and pray. And it was insane. But I think there's a deeper story as well about hypocrisy in the whole realm, and how I saw things I saw that didn't gel for me within this. Thou shalt do all of this stuff, but the example wasn't always as pure as it was preached.
It's amazing how many of us have that experience of hearing one thing but seeing another, and the discrepancy there. It's as if we fell into that gap and saying, "But I can't."
Yeah. No, exactly, and I think those. And I always say, thank God I'm an atheist, and I'm not quite an atheist.
That was funny.
There's those thick cracks, actually, the cracks in this theory or the dogma that saved my life.
Okay.
And one is those hypocrisies.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you say this, but you do that.
Yeah.
And I see not only you, but people in the church or whatever. And the other thing was being gay.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So if you grow up Well, I've known from a very early age.
The first day you sat on your dummy.
Yeah, I just knew. Yeah, so I suppose when you awaken sexually, and I mean that's a very early age, and I think most gay people can tell you this story. Age 6, 7, you know what you are. You don't know. You don't know the name for this, but you know what it is.
That's amazing. When I shared my own story, when did I record it? Friday. That I actually felt so sad when I told that part of my story and how lonely that not understanding made me feel, how it isolated me from life.
Exactly.
It's awful.
And the strangeness of it. You thought you were the only one.
Exactly.
You know? And that feeling went right through varsity with me until the last year of varsity.
Sure.
Even though I later found out that I lived in the gay res, you know, and it's like, really? And I only found that out when I left, you know.
There is a God.
Yeah, sick sense of humor. So that's one of the other cracks, and I could not
reconcile
that what religion expected of me, and what I was, and however much I prayed and confessed, and this thing just didn't leave me until one day. And there's also a story there, and how a certain person came my way. No, not that way. And it's a friend. It's actually one of my best friends. We're still friends, and we made music in church together.
Oh wow!
From the age of 10. So he's actually my longest friend.
Yeah.
And we drifted apart, and I understood. I think I understood why we drifted apart. And in my honours year at varsity, one day he said, "No, you wanted to confess about something." And I said, "You don't even have to tell me. I know you're gay, and so am I." And that's how I came out.
Oh wow!
And if it wasn't for that moment, my life would have been horrible. I'm thankful for those cracks.
Yeah.
Because my life could have been very miserable. And I think what helps sometimes is if you're intelligent enough to realize that, you know, things don't work the way you were taught.
Yeah.
And the things you are taught are really just other people's issues that they really written down over the millennia, and which, because it's written 2,000 years ago, doesn't make it true.
Yeah.
It's just somebody's opinion. And
do you think we all kind of struggled with this religion versus gay type of thing because we were taught not to think for ourselves at school? Because I can't remember ever being told as a child to think. I was taught to learn.
To follow. And if you don't follow these rules, there will be punishment.
Yeah.
And
there will be consequences.
Yeah, one day you'll stand in front of God and He will judge you. And that's it.
Yeah.
And you'll either go to hell, where you'll burn forever, or you'll go into heaven, which is very baroque apparently. If you listen to how it's described, and I don't like baroque. It's all gold and silver and pearls, and I don't like that.
Loads of drapes.
I like glass and steel, so I won't.
You will want to redecorate?
Some scatter cushions, something brocade maybe. I don't know.
Definitely something like that. Listen, Pierre, so then after your honours year, you went to the army.
That's right.
And that's where our paths crossed.
That's right.
I can't remember how we met, though. Can you remember?
No, I don't. I can't.
It was just a process of...
Yeah, and I think it might have been there's one pivotal person that pulled everybody together.
Yeah. So through him,
our private gaydar just brought everybody together.
And not as fucked as my gaydar. So at age of 51, I'm still kind of...
Next year, it's 30 years. Yeah. So as Ben says, between the 2nd and the 6th of February, we all met.
Oh, wow.
So I think we'll have a big party next year to celebrate. Yeah.
I think that's appropriate. It'll be an interesting party.
Yeah. So maybe back to spirituality. I mean, growing up, I grew up with music, and that's one of the positive things that I took from church, because it was different than Dutch Reform. Then also it made me an odd kid, because I probably was one of 2 or 3 kids in my school that was from that background. So I was odd from a religion perspective as well.
Was that kind of charismatic?
It's charismatic,
Okay.
but it was happy music.
Oh, yeah,
in our days,
so
charismatic
was very, very.
And there was always bands and people were happy and singing,
fabulous.
and so rhythm and all these gospel blues sounds and jazz. I mean, those sounds come with me, and I've got a passion. I eventually played organ in church, but it was not pipe organ. It was a good old fashioned Hammond organ with a Leslie next to it. So whenever I hear that type of sound, I just melt, And in the discussion I had with a Turkish friend of mine that's also think the same as him, we agreed that God didn't create music, music created God. Because it doesn't matter what music I listen to, I get that it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah. For you that it really touches intensely. Yeah, that's amazing.
Absolutely. I can't, if music plays, I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
My attention goes there. I could never study with music, for instance.
Okay, neither could I.
And
my attention span is too fucked anyway. There can't be any. And you also, I'll never forget, just after the army, you played piano in a restaurant.
Oh yes, yeah. As I said, music never
jazzed up religious songs.
Yeah, no. I mean, my repertoire was very small, coming from a Pentecostal background, and so after varsity, went to the army. So my last experience really was in church, and never really played after that. And as it goes, when you're young, that age, the money you make at your primary employment doesn't cover your expenses. So I literally kept 3 jobs going. One at a laboratory at night, a pathology laboratory. The other one was to play at a restaurant in Pretoria. And it was 50 Rand a night. That was a lot of money. And yes, I played gospel songs, but I jazzified it so nobody knew.
Except for the one lady who caught you out. I'll never forget when you said that. But it's so lovely to hear a child of God play.
I forgot about that.
It was so funny.
It's funny. It's actually interesting that you mention. I mean, in the meantime, I've had quite a renaissance, or went through a renaissance this past 2 years, 3 years, about this insane journey I've been on. And still, when I've learned so many new songs, I've been on this, I don't think in my life I've been exposed to new music as much as I've been in the past 2 years, but not listening to it, but playing it, actually go and sit and just grabbing. I love jazz standards, old American standards, and just there's one a week at least, at least one a week that I start and I play and I master and whatever. But if all is said and done, and I'm in a quiet space and I just really want to chill behind the piano and it's late afternoon or late night, I sit and I play gospel.
Okay.
I still go there because it's so ingrained, still touches the soul. Yeah.
So when you went to the army and came out of the closet to yourself and to other people, did you disregard the church completely?
I've never been back to church.
Okay.
Yes.
Except for funerals and weddings and those type of things.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Since we've met, you've been on quite an interesting journey, because you seem to have a vast amount of interests. You're obviously highly intelligent and you get interested in things, and so you had absolutely no problem to really indulge in completely new and different things. What does that do for you?
I love the process of exploring and understanding. I think deeply I want to understand the world.
Okay.
And that's...
So you live in the pursuit of knowledge.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I've gained the knowledge, I lose interest.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a whole degree in business after
you did an MBA.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I went through that hell and just to realize afterwards that I still don't know how to do business, and I'm really not interested. But
Jesus, what a way to get there.
Yeah, having said that, for me,
you sat in the toilet one morning and no, it's not going to work.
There's a lot of let's call it psychology for now behind it, and there's maybe a dark space it was about acceptance.
Yeah. That's exactly what I wanted to ask. Yeah.
It's all about acceptance and just love me. I'm not good enough. And yeah, so many of us go that route. And my way was to really accumulate degrees and diplomas. I mean, you don't want to see my wall at home. And at the end of the day,
once you ran out of wall space, you decided, okay, we can't buy a bigger house because this one is already huge.
Yeah.
And this wall space is now done, so now I need to stop studying.
Yeah, and it maybe did bring me a lot of money, but definitely didn't bring me happiness.
Okay.
Definitely didn't bring me. I found happiness, real happiness, this past 2 years.
Through music.
Through music. Ta-da!
back when we began.
And that should have been where I had to go from the start. But I mean, it's also pressure from parents, from educators, and the world we were in, or still is in, is that you can't make money from science, from music.
Yeah.
You either have to do business or science, and that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And fortunately, unfortunately, I was good at science and maths at school, and so my path was laid out for me.
Yeah.
So I still love science. I mean, I had my own lab, and after all these, I created my own lab to do food analysis for a friend.
No, that's how it all started.
It all started, and I'm doing all kinds of interesting things in there. But so science is still close to my heart, and there's also science is very, very close to godliness for me as well. It's understanding how the universe works and how things.
Yeah.
My mind is. I've got a scientific mind. I want to know how things work and how they stick together, and that is still there.
Analysis must be quite interesting for you. To take something apart, because that's ultimately what you're doing. To look at exactly what this consists of.
Exactly, yeah.
I've got no idea how you do that.
Analytical mind.
God, science was my worst mark in matric. So, oh my God, and there was math. So we are
I think you know what it is. I also think is that rush you get when you understand it.
Okay, yeah.
Because you go through the phase where it's like, how does it work? And you may take months, even years to understand how something works. But when you get it, it's such a reward.
It's your own personal little orgasm.
Absolutely.
It's a brain orgasm. Yeah. A braingasm.
Yes.
I discovered the other day that I say so easily, I don't remember. And I discovered the other day it's because I'm too lazy to think. It's such a weird thing to suddenly, at the age of 51, realize that it's not as if I have a bad memory. It's just that I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy to engage with the thought process.
Most people are.
How the fuck does that work? It's just so anyway. Yeah, it took me a while, and I can't say that I'm more active, but at least I now know I'm not stupid. I just don't want to go there. So Pierre, what happened over the past few years? Because it's so weird, because when I think of you, for me, ultimately, you are I think of you as an atheist, but you said now you're not an atheist.
No, I'm not. So I'm agnostic.
Okay. So you believe there is a bigger being out
not a being, no. I don't believe there's no being. As I say, groot spook daarbo. I believe in the energy in everything.
Okay.
The energy is God. And it's in us, and it's in the universe, and we are it. We are God in another form.
Cool.
As a stone is part of God in another form. If you go down to molecular and into atomic level, there is so much energy flowing, and there's order. It works according to rules.
Okay.
The rules of nature. And from that tiniest, minuscule part of intelligence, all intelligence flows.
Okay.
And I also believe life creates itself.
Okay.
It will. If the conditions are right, it will manifest. And through that, we get consciousness and experience the world around us.
Okay.
And that's how we connect it, through the energy. Yeah.
It's interesting that you again use the word, that you use the word connected. Because so many people that I talk to on the podcast who are not religious refer to connectedness as what they perceive to be their God. Being a non-scientist, this is not going to really be a stupid question, but is connectedness kind of a scientific principle?
I think it's both. Both what? It's both scientific and physical and mind. It's on a scientific level. I mean, we are made from the same stardust.
Yeah.
We come from have the same building blocks in all of us. And if you die, the carbon in your body is going to become carbon dioxide. Will be absorbed by a plant somewhere. I'll eat it. You become part of me. So in that way, scientifically,
we are all connected. Bottom line.
Yeah, the air that you breathe out, I breathe in. Yeah. And that type of thing. The other connectedness is literally our psychological connectedness to each other and our awareness of each other.
Yeah. A global consciousness.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. What do you do to practice that?
I live. Oh, and it's maybe where my sense of spirituality comes. Because even though I'm agnostic or semi-atheist or whatever, I still believe in spirituality. And spirituality for me has got nothing to do, once again, with ghosts and beings and whatever. Spirituality for me is the experience of life.
Ah.
And just to give a good example, I had such a fantastic experience 2 weeks ago when I did the Argus. It was here's the spirituality for me. I did it with a good friend. We had this fantastic day.
It was a beautiful day, wasn't it?
And
excellent.
Through it all, I suffered a bit because I started cramping, so that was really hell. Had my...
How far in did that start?
This was about 60 k's in.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's where it started.
So way past halfway.
Yeah, it was way past halfway. But, so the whole aim of doing a good time changed to finishing good.
Yeah.
And from there on, there was a different approach or a different feel to the whole thing. Different energy. So we took it slower. Every 5 k's or so I stopped, had my legs massaged, and then we just chatted.
Okay.
And we talked about music and sang on the bicycle. People think we were crazy, but we were having... I'm not normal.
Yeah.
As Randy Crawford sings in the song, staying within the boundaries seems so formal. If this is what life is, I don't want to be normal.
Oh, wow.
So that's the motto of my life.
Which song is that?
I think it's actually called Normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a lovely quote.
Yeah.
That is real. I've never heard that before. Why not?
Fantastic. So there we were having this abnormal experience.
Yeah.
People think we were crazy. I mean, we're literally... This guy's got an incredible voice. He would just burst out singing on his bicycle. People are like, you're supposed to be suffering now. Because we were going up...
Suikerbos.
The Suikerbos was... that was suffering. Everybody suffered together. But on...
Chapman's Peak.
Chappies,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
going up Chapman's Peak. And it was this hundreds of people, but there was dead silence. You couldn't believe it. You could hear a pin drop. Everybody was just suffering on this road. And
suffering in silence.
My friend just decided, this is it.
Tot hier toe nie verder nie.
Anyway, yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
So, and that I said to him afterwards, this to me was true spirituality.
Yeah.
It's really there, being in the moment. You don't think of tomorrow. You don't think of yesterday. It's here, having a good and a bad time.
Yeah.
But being here and just experiencing this.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow we'll be at work again and we'll be worrying about our finances and our cars and our houses and whatever. But now we're not worrying about anything. Yeah.
But I remember about doing road running, 10 Ks, 21 Ks, and I think 21 was the first I went half marathon, was that connectedness with people whom you've never seen in your life. But just the fact that you're all doing this thing together, it was I always ran such amazing times because I was so lifted up by energy of togetherness.
Yeah. We are social animals. Yeah.
That's why we're not perfect.
Yeah.
That's what Esponsi said to me once, kind of, you know what, we are made imperfect because we are group animals. We need each other. Had we been perfect, we wouldn't need other people.
Exactly.
So, and that was a huge lesson for me because, as you said earlier, we thought we needed to be perfect in order to be accepted.
Yeah.
That was the only way that we felt that that we deserved a place on earth.
Yeah, and I think it's a great place when that day when it dawns on you that you are okay.
Yeah.
You are okay as you are. Yes, it doesn't mean you're not going to try and improve yourself. It just means,
But
this is what I am.
I think the difference for me...
This is me.
Yeah.
This is me, yeah.
But the difference for me is that now, in improving myself, I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it to
Get the praise or
get appraisal from anybody or anything. This is...
Or maybe this is just about growing up.
Yeah. Or growing old.
Growing. Shut up. And you're right. It's about becoming older and being aware of it. When and a lot of what happened in my life, and I said this renaissance I went through happened when the year I turned 50. And it dawned it dawned on me that both my parents died when they were 60.
Oh wow!
Which meant if I have to live life, I have to.
Yeah. You've got 10 years.
I've got 10 years to do that. And my partner actually, Dion, he asks me often. He says, "Why in such a rush?" There's always this rush and this urgency, and I think a lot about that is I don't know how much life I've got left, and I wasted so many years just sitting at home doing nothing, being depressed.
Yeah.
And I don't have that luxury anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
And I need to grab every moment that I have to do something that I love. And if that is music, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to throw everything at it.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to take a break every now and again, just recharge or whatever. But for me, this is it. This is my moment. I've done the science. I've done the business. I've worked in corporate. I still have to do a day job to make money. But
your passion.
My passion was always music and art. And yes, I have a lot to learn because I never had formal music education. So I'm doing quite a bit now to try and catch up.
Are you taking...
I'm taking vocal coaching. I'm doing...
Are you serious?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I've been doing that for about almost a year now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Doing vocal coaching, and I've taken piano lessons. I started with the jazz lessons, and I thought, no, this is a bit above me. I need to go back to the basics again.
Okay.
So I'm literally starting at grade 2 now, and grade 2 level, and because I can't read music. I can play jazz. I play by ear.
You can't read music. I didn't know that.
Very, very badly. Well, now after a year or so, I'm much better at it.
Okay.
I could read right hand. Okay. I could help myself, but left hand was non-existent.
My word.
Yeah. So
I think music must be one of the... Well, I tried to teach myself piano, and I just couldn't. We discussed that the other day, where I think I concentrated too hard on it, while instead of trying to just let it flow through me.
That's we all make that mistake. Yeah.
Because the minute you concentrate on it,
you lose it.
It's like typing. The minute you realize that you're actually typing, it just becomes a cognitive process, and then you freak out.
I had a conversation with my music teacher on Friday about the same thing. He says everybody's like that, and you have to feel it. Music is there's a flow, and the moment you break the flow by thinking, then you lose the plot. Yeah. You can just stop and start again.
You said you practice spirituality by living.
Consciously living.
Consciously living. Yeah.
Mindfulness.
Do you do meditation?
I have. I have. But in a way, my meditation is to cut off from the world by doing something specific, like playing piano, like cooking. Cooking is one of my best times. If I cook for a big meal for people, I'll start in the middle of the day, and I'm really nowhere else but there. I'm
so that's absolute presentness.
That is my meditation. Now, I also do believe in, and sometimes I am an anxiety sufferer.
Really?
I have been, for years.
Okay.
And
depression as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But that I discovered 2 years ago is because I didn't have music in my life.
You weren't feeding your soul.
I wasn't feeding my soul, and I can just well tell the story because I tell the story to everyone because it is so significant. I sang in a choir with a few good friends. It was a small men's ensemble when I arrived in Cape Town, and that was where I got my weekly dose of music. It was called Injection. It was called Profundi, and it was a male ensemble. And we socialized on a Tuesday evening and sang a few songs and had a few concerts. And they didn't quite do the songs I love, because I love the jazzy stuff and the a cappella and barbershop and those type of things. So I sort of decided at that stage I'm going to quit. The thing is, I quit from music completely. I didn't even consciously went after that to concerts or to performances or musicals or anything.
Was it a conscious decision, or did it just...
It just happened. It's like, and in the process before that, actually, and I think it actually led to me stopping. I did a sound recording course, and I had a recording studio at home and recorded a few things, and somehow it just didn't want to go somewhere, because I really wanted to do something with music then, and I think I got disillusioned. You
weren't doing it perfectly, so you lost interest.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it
wasn't perfect. Or you weren't doing it well enough. So,
instead of just hanging in there.
Yeah. Doing it for the enjoyment.
Yeah, because I wanted to make money out of this, so that went nowhere. And that was also part why I stopped the choir. Okay. There's a bit of a story there, and I stopped the choir, and I literally decided that was music. That was a decision. I'm done. Wow. I'm done with music, and I pushed it out of my life. If it wasn't for the odd song that I listened on the radio, that was it. Then I started suffering of depression and anxiety, and I never made the link. It's because I never made that link. And I think in January of 2016, a common friend of ours, a mutual friend, I don't know how common he is. It can be common sometimes if it's drunk, I think.
You know who you are.
Yeah, all of it can be quite common if we have too much alcohol in.
I think also East Rand, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yes, yeah. Anyway, so we spoke, we had a conversation. He said, My Fair Lady is on at Artscape this year, and I think you should go and audition for this. I'm going to. And I thought by myself, I'm not sure about this musical thing. I've never really been a musical fan, and I actually dragged my heels and missed out on the opportunity. Okay. Literally, when I eventually called the rehearsal secretary or the audition secretary, she says, "No, sorry, all the places I've taken, I like, yep, great, fantastic. So I don't have to do
the action, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
so that's good. Yeah."
So I let him know, no, sorry, I'm not going to participate. He eventually auditioned and got one of the leading roles. And in May 2016, he called me on a Saturday.
So this is 3 months later.
3 months later, pottering, and they were already busy with rehearsals. One Saturday afternoon, pottering around the garden. I didn't hear the phone, was in the house, and eventually he called Dion and said, Pierre must call me. And Dion said, "No, Marius is looking for you. Call him, please." And I went, actually my phone was lying in my lab. Got my phone, called him. No, one of the guys have pulled out and come now. And not, do you still want to, is literally instruction,
As in come now, as on Saturday afternoon. Oh my God.
I didn't just wash my hands, went in the clothes that I was in the garden with, and went up. He said, "Follow the sound, you'll find us." And went to the backstage of Artscape, up to the rehearsal room. As he said, I followed the sound. And I just sat there for a while. Everybody thought I was the dad of one of the kids that was in it. And then Alistair actually took me aside and gave me this short audition and said, "You're in." And I was like, "What?"
So while driving there, were you thinking to yourself, what the fuck am I doing?
What am I doing? Yeah, I was actually just, let's humor them. They're not going to want me anyway. That's that good enough thing again.
Okay.
I never thought I was good enough for something like this. Yeah. It's really,
because it was a huge production.
It was enormous. Why would they want me on Artscape?
Sullivan Association.
It was GNS, Gilbert and Sullivan. Yeah, they changed the name to GNS now. Okay. And so I think it didn't really hit me at the time what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I just knew I was
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Especially for people like you, to give me too much time to think, and I'm going to think myself out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I went through, the auditions was hard, because I came in the middle, and people were already knew their steps. Yeah. And I felt so stupid all the time, because I was doing it,
proving that
I'm not good enough, and because I was singing and dancing, and I'm not a good dancer. I can strut my stuff in the club,
but 65 beats per minute.
But there's something about consciously moving with words and singing, and remembering to look at the audience, all those things. And also, I'm not. You'll know. I don't make friends quickly. But when I do make friends, I make friends for life.
Yeah,
that's what I do. So the first few months, I would say, I was lonely in that space. I would
were
go,
the people helpful and were they kind?
Extremely. I mean, it's a completely different.
So it was your shit.
Yeah, it's my shit. Yeah, no. So, but gradually made friends and whatever. And it was still not. It was still because it was a piano rehearsal. I had no clue of what this thing's going to sound like.
Okay.
God,
there's a big smile forming on that face suddenly.
Yeah. So, in the theatre world, in musicals, they have got this thing, especially working with an orchestra, that a week before you go on stage, you sit with the orchestra in the rehearsal room and eventually get together. They call it
they rehearse on their own. And
you rehearse on their own. They bring it together. They call it a Sitzprobe.
The what?
Sitzprobe. It's a German term.
Sitzprobe. Okay.
Yeah. And they started playing the overture.
And you were gone. You were taken. You were fabulous.
I couldn't sing. It was heaven.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
So you just realized this is where I need to be.
I was home.
Oh, fabulous. That is so excellent. Oh.
Yeah.
And that's when the bug really hit you.
I realized this is it.
So you didn't go and look for music. Music went to fetch you.
It found me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So my life changed. 180-degree turnaround. I haven't until recently. I mean, but there are specific reasons for that. My depression is gone. My anxiety is gone. I try to explain to people in the past, and it's still there. It's like being on coke constantly. That high, you can't describe it to anyone.
Because it is adrenaline.
It's a drug. It's a drug, but it's just a natural one. Yeah.
You're on Twitter?
No, I'm not on Twitter, no.
There's a guy on Twitter called I've actually said this so often on this podcast, called Aidan Hatfield. And he's a depression sufferer, and he doesn't take medication for his depression. He uses music to get over his depression.
There you go. Yeah.
And he's got a clothing range called In Music We Trust. Mm-hmm. And half of the profits of what he makes on the clothing range goes towards the depression supporting NGO. And he lives a very happy, fulfilled life through using music as an antidepressant. And it definitely sounds as if you can do that as well.
All those endorphins that makes the endorphins flow. Yeah. No, absolutely, it was. And in the meantime, I have stopped counting how many shows I've been. Yeah, because it went from being on stage to being backstage to being on stage again. Then got my first small role in a recent community theatre production, and I'm now shadowing the director of My Fair Lady in a show to learn the tricks of the trade, and I'm planning my own show in July.
So you're just being Pierre.
Yeah.
So just being in the show isn't good enough. I'm going to learn everything there is about it. So what do you mean you're planning your own show?
I'm planning a variety concert in July, the 20th and the 21st of July in the Erin Hall.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm privileged to have fantastic singers that's going to participate. I'm struggling a bit to get an orchestra together, but it will come. I mean, I feel it's the right thing.
That's
it's
excellent.
Going to be good.
That sounds excellent.
Yeah.
20 and 21st of July. Okay. I'm away that weekend after that, so I'll be here.
Definitely. Good.
Cool. So as things stand today, you have reconnected with music. And it sounds as if that connection with music also was a huge connection to people, to like-minded people.
Yeah, I mean,
so that changed your life also significantly. New friends, new people who know what you think and what you feel, and sharing a passion and an emotion attached to that.
Yeah, and it just giving indication for years. I mean, I don't measure my social ability or richness in friends by Facebook, because even though I have a policy, I don't become friend with somebody on Facebook if I haven't physically met the person. So if I haven't met you in person, I'm not going to connect with you on Facebook. And just to give you an indication, I mean, I always hovered around about maybe 100 or 150 people. It didn't really change over years. But if you go and look at the stats, since My Fair Lady, I think in 1 year I added another 150.
Oh my God!
It's just
These are all people who
I
you've got
physically
to
met
know.
and connected with.
Yeah. Oh wow!
Yeah, definitely had a conversation with.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's insane. Yeah,
that really is. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So, last question. Are you happy today?
I would say so. Yeah.
Awesome. And it is due to your reconnection with music.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main thing that happened, that changed all of this. Because I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I was in a very dark, deep, dark space 2 years ago.
And that just changed.
Yeah, it changed. It changed. Yeah.
Other people go to rehab, you go to theatre.
Well, same thing for me.
I think in rehabs it's the same old show, but the clowns are more. Something like that.
The clown balance is higher.
Yeah, exactly. Pierre, thank you so much. Let's release you to go to the theatre and go and learn about
light plotting.
I still think he's prodding the lights. Going, come on, light. Come on. Shine brightly. Shine brightly. Anyway, Pierre, thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Okay.
Have a wonderful day and thanks again for the breakfast.
Pleasure.
I just want to thank my husband Yaku and my own spiritual journey for allowing this opportunity to be more open-minded and consequently being able to experience moments like these. I love how life's paths makes so many amazing turns with us. The Afrikaans boek Kringe in 'n Bos has a line in it that says, "Die lewe maak snaakse draaie met 'n mens." In English, the book is called Circles in the Forest, and loosely translated, it says something like, "Life makes strange turns with one." I could not help but think of this line while editing Pierre's journey. It also reminded me of the saying that the longest journey one can take is the one made from the head to the heart. Pierre has managed to look past the degrees on his wall and the affirmation he hoped to get from them into his heart, where a jazz beat and a musical tune have brought him to true joy and connection. If you have any feedback or remarks, please feel free to pop me an email or connect on social media. It will be great to hear from you. If you want to know more about what I do, please feel free to connect with me on my website, which is www.freddy.org.za, or find me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/freddy.org.za, or on Twitter at @RensburgFreddy. Remember that Freddy is always spelled with an IE at the end. I want to thank you for listening. Be safe. Bye.